What is up, guys? PoliticsGaming here, and today we are doing a brand new video. We're going to be discussing my top 10 government simulation games. It's going to be political / government simulation games, so it's going to be like maybe some games that I kind of delve into politics, or it's going to be games that do specifically go after government simulation. About all of these that you've probably heard of. Maybe you haven't heard of some of these. But I'm gonna go ahead and be discussing it. Go ahead and leave a like, subscribe to the channel if you are new. If you guys want to see more content like this, hit that bell notification icon so you don't miss anything whenever I do make it. Now, starting at number 10 is going to be Democracy. And I'm talking about the game series in general. I'm not talking about a specific game I am looking at Democracy for. However, I have not played Democracy for. But the biggest thing about Democracy is that it is heavily spreadsheet style and heavily political. However, at the same time, there's not too much that you can really do in terms of just, it's kind of basically just once you kind of get the political capital in mind, and then how to kind of the learning curve isn't too great, so I think it's a little too simplistic in terms of just generality. And if you're looking for a very detailed political game, I mean, you can have a lot of this. You know, you go after the food prices, private healthcare prices, private school prices. There's a little bit more detail whenever it comes to policy making. However, at the same time, it is still a little bit simplistic because I don't think it goes far enough for what it's going for, but at least it does make my top 10. And I'm not saying it is a horrible game. However, in my opinion, I do believe that it could go a little bit further. But I do like the types of laws that you can pass in the game, how detailed the laws can be, and how many metrics there are. But that is the main reason why I want to keep it at number 10. If I'm probably going to get Democracy 4, maybe I'm going to try to see if they're making Democracy 5 or something like that. I don't want to buy this game and then automatically they announce that they're making a new one. But we're going to go ahead and move on to the next one, and the next one is going to be Suzerain. Suzerain is basically a text-based RPG political drama game. Essentially, it's kind of like a House of Cards, except it's a video game. You can be corrupt. You can it's basically like you're looking to go to war with a neighboring country, and it's like a Cold War drama, political drama, but it's like about these very fictional countries. Like, it's not even based in our own world, it's actually based in a world that they had set up. So if you like world building, if you like very strictly story-based games where you're not really doing any sort of management of the military, any sort of management directly of the economy, a lot of the economic and military gameplay comes from decisions that you make. So it's kind of like you are strictly the president. You are not doing anything else except strictly what the Constitution is saying, but you can actually go against what the Constitution says and then be extremely corrupt. However, you can get kicked out, so it's kind of like, again, there's so many different types of endings that you can have in this game. I started to play it a little bit on my channel, and I actually got pretty busy. I can't remember when it was, but I'm pretty sure it was whenever I was like hopping around different places, and I was able to post on my channel. But if you do like story-based, text-based games, this is the game for you. But as for me personally, I'm not that big of a fan of text-based RPGs. I do like role-playing games. I do like that genre. That's just not my type of game. And I mean, if you guys want to see more Suzerain on this channel and actually see me finish the game, let me know down in the comments below. But moving on, at number 8 is going to be Supreme Ruler. I'm looking at Supreme Ruler 2030, which has not come out yet. I do think that Supreme Ruler does have a very good place, as in that it is pretty complex, it is pretty detailed. However, at the same time, I think like with laws, there's not really that many laws that you can propose in this game. I don't even know if there's any sort of laws that you can propose. So it's strictly economic and military. There's really no political gameplay that you can have in here. It is almost strictly economic and military. Now, the economic side of it is actually one that I have not learned. I think that in Supreme Ruler, it's once you kind of get the hang of it, it's kind of pretty easy to kind of like go through with it, and that's the biggest thing about this. Like the similarity between this and Democracy is that both games kind of try to appeal to a much larger demographic. Now, I'm talking about the niche of government simulation, geopolitical simulator games. And you already know what number one is going to be. So, and I'll explain why Power and Revolution is at my number one. But with things like Democracy and Supreme Ruler, they kind of sacrifice some of like critical aspects, in my opinion, in which that can make them more complex because you're trying to juggle so many things at the same time. And that's actually what Supreme Ruler does sacrifice, is the political gameplay. Now, in the politics realm in Supreme Ruler, it's more like, I think it's like taxes and everything, and you just need to make sure, you know, that you're not starting a revolution back at home. But again, you're not really interacting with your political sphere in your country, so it's more like keep the people happy by having supplies and everything. I do like the economic side of it, though. I do like how you can have reserves and you can have all of these different things. I do wish that they had a lot more sectors in the game instead of the ones that we have. And it's kind of like, if you think that Power and Revolution has been porting things from previous editions, this is essentially what Supreme Ruler has been doing. I think the only exception, the core of Supreme Ruler really hasn't changed, at least since I've been playing it, since like 2017. So it's just like, it's a pretty good game. It's pretty good, nice to look at. I think the military is a little too complicated, and I think the same thing about Hearts of Iron, which is next on my list. And then the military side of it actually shares my opinion with Hearts of Iron. Now, Hearts of Iron is almost strictly military, and the reason this is not higher on my list is mainly because of the military. Now, in Supreme Ruler, you have to pay attention to supplies and stuff like that. It gets a little overly complicated, but it does kind of, you know, make you learn a little bit. That way you're not just sending troops into a meat grinder and hoping they're going to win. You actually have to make sure that they are supplied, you have to make sure that they have the weapons that they need, and then you have to make sure that you know, the trucks are going in there and giving them supplies. Same thing with Hearts of Iron. Now, in the beginning, I've been playing Hearts of Iron 4 since the very beginning. I have been playing this game since day one. I actually pre-ordered it, and I have hundreds of hours on this game. I have still not learned how to manage a military in this. I don't know anything about, if I can find the screenshot here. You ask me how to play this game, I will tell you I have no idea. I have no idea what any of this means right here. I know what organization means. I know what weight, I sort of know what weight is, reliability, soft attack, hard attack. I have no idea how to make a division in this game. And that is the whole reason that I suck at this game, is because I have zero clue how to make a division. Do I want to learn? I don't know. And that's the biggest thing that kind of gets me about Hearts of Iron. You are spending hours and hours and hours and hours and hours managing your divisions, and then you're basically just trying to take over the world at that point, because once, you know, if you're playing Germany or something like that, like once you take over the USSR, it's just like, okay, what else am I going to do? I'm going to go after Africa, I'm going to invade the United States, whatever. And it just kind of like becomes it's extremely time consuming. And you know, a couple of years ago I was able to waste a lot of time on this game. Now it's just like I have too much going on to the point to where like this is just a non-starter for me. Maybe I play it every so often just to kind of like, because I like the way it looks, I love the way it looks. Millennium Dawn I would probably like to play on this channel. I think I played it once. No, I don't think I played it. But I think this game is like it's pretty amazing whenever it comes to the military, but at the same time, it sacrifices a lot in terms of playability for some players, because there are some dedicated people to this game who have thousands and thousands and thousands of hours on this game. And it has gotten better in terms of political. However, and this is a complete issue with Paradox, they DLC the crap out of their games. Every time they make a game, it's like DLC, 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 DLC. And that's the biggest thing that I'm worried about with Victoria 3. You don't play it for a little bit, and then all of a sudden there's like 5 DLCs worth $70, and then you're like, okay, am I going to drop $70 just to be able to enjoy this game? And I haven't done that with Hearts of Iron. There's just too many DLCs out there right now, and I'm not going to drop $100 on DLC of a game that I'm not going to play that often. So and I hopefully will try to keep up with Victoria 3, because I do enjoy Victoria 3, although I have not played it in a minute. But I do like how Hearts of Iron looks and how it has advanced since it came out. But at the same time, it is extremely overly complicated for regular players in the military aspect. And number 5 is going to be the political process. This is a political simulation game in which you can run for city council, you can run for state house, state senate, you can run for US House, US Senate, and you can run for the presidency. And then you can create a character, and then you can create policy for that character, what they support, everything like that. You can pick any county in the United States and play in that county. So you can play your local county, you can play whatever, and then you can go all the way up to the presidency, or you can be mayor of your town, whatever. I like to just be a mayor sometimes and just kind of manage the city aspect. Really like that is an option in the game, and I don't think we have enough of those games in which you can literally just be a city councilman and then just go through controversial subjects as your city. Now, the biggest thing about this game is that it is the most detailed whenever it comes to elections, but that's it. It is almost non-changed since I've been playing it since 2020. I found this game out, it's been out since 2019. I have been playing this game consistently since 2020, and there are maybe 1,000 subscribers on this channel that found this channel through the political process. And everyone can tell you that you play this for maybe an hour, a couple of hours one day, and you're like, you just really feel like playing the political process, and you just stop for like a month or two, because this game is so repetitive that, I mean, I'm surprised it's even number 5. The only reason it is number 5 is because of the elections processing. Like, that is the best part about this game. That's the biggest thing. I barely even tried to pass legislation in the game. Like, whenever I play this game, I have so many plans. I'm just like, I want to be a successful Senate Majority Leader. I want to be, I want to flip the state house, something like that. I want to be Speaker of the House of my state, whatever. And then just like after 3 or 4 years in game, it's just like, Jesus Christ, this is so repetitive. And again, I don't know why. I mean, I probably should be number 6 or number 7, but because this game is pretty special to me and I want to see it successful, that's why it's number 5. Number 4 is going to be Tropico, the Tropico series. I've been playing Tropico since Tropico 3, whenever I bought it back in 2011. Now, this game has been with me for the longest time. Whenever I first started this channel, you can there's actually another channel that I have that you guys have never heard of, and I don't even have any videos listed on it, but there's actually a video of mine where I talk about I made it with like Windows Media Maker or Windows like Movie Maker or whatever it was called, and I made a video like whenever they announced Tropico 4, and then I was just like, there's gonna be tsunamis, there's gonna be this, there's gonna be that. Really cringy to watch, really bad to watch. I need to show repost some of these videos on this channel, that way you guys can see like how cringy I was back in whenever I first started these channels. But Tropico, if you like city building games and you like political simulators, this is the game for you. This is a city builder, but it's also very detailed whenever it comes to politics. You can be corrupt, you can be democratic, you can side with the Russians, you can side with the Americans, you can side with the EU, you can side with China, I think. You can play from the colonial era all the way up to the modern era, and you can just make a lot, and it's very detailed whenever it comes to the economy. So you can build docks, you can make your economy run off of fishing, you can make your economy run off of farming, or you can make it a very service-based economy. Now, I love that about this game is that, and then you have to worry about food production, you have to worry about all these different types of scenarios in your game, and I just love the free play. And I need to buy Tropico 6 and preview it on my channel, because that would be, I haven't played Tropico 6. I remember playing the beta, but I didn't get it whenever it came out. So that's the biggest thing about Tropico, is that it is very, very good. The downsides of it is that, like, if you can kind of look, the scaling is just kind of weird to me. I don't like the way the buildings kind of just look overly large. It kind of limits you in terms of what kind of economy you can make, what kind of city you want to make. Like, it's not city skylines where you can make these gigantic megalopolises all over your map. You have all these mountains, you have all of these limitations. There's a lot of limitations is the word I was trying to make. But at the same time, if you like city builders and you like politics, this is definitely the game for you. In the last video that I made, in which they literally said that SimCity they literally put SimCity and Tropico in the same list. And again, I'm pretty sure this guy has never played a political simulator in his life, and maybe the only political simulator he's probably played is Civilization. And Civilization is not on this list, by the way. So if you like Civilization, sorry. But that's the biggest thing. He put SimCity and Tropico in the same list. SimCity is strictly city building. It has nothing to do with politics. This is the most political city builder that you can find on the market. So, but yeah, Tropico has been with me for a very long time. It started to get me into the political gaming realm, and I have a lot to thank Tropico for to get me into where I am today with this YouTube channel. And coming up at number 3 is going to be, ironically, Victoria 3. Now, Victoria is a very beautiful game. I believe that Victoria I love the time period that it's based in. You can play as the British Empire at its absolute peak. You can play throughout the revolutions of 1848. You can play as the United States and colonize the West, and you can essentially make your own empire in this. Now, the biggest thing that I like about this is that they did basically make a sacrifice for the military gameplay. Now, I really did think it was interesting the way they did the military gameplay in Victoria 2. However, the biggest thing about this is that it is heavily based on not the military. It's not based on you conquering, and that's why the conquering mechanic is so simplistic. It's that it is very politically and economically focused. Because whenever you have 3 different realms, you have the political, you have military, and you have economic. Military ends up becoming a micromanagement whenever you only want to focus on politics and economics. So this one is where they sacrifice the military gameplay for the political and economic gameplay. The economic gameplay is very detailed. You have so many different sectors that you can go after, that you can focus on, and then you can kind of go in and build these buildings, and just have a little bit of micromanagement whenever it comes to these specific buildings that you're making, and like how much cash reserves they have and who's working in them and everything. So that's the one thing that I love about this game. Downsides of it is, again, the military. The military is kind of just too simplistic. I kind of wish they ported some aspects of Victoria 2 into Victoria 3. I didn't play Victoria 2 that much, however, I did play it. Whenever Victoria 3 started to get close to coming out, I started playing Victoria 2 a little bit, and I did particularly enjoy the military mechanic. I like how it was like the lined up troops kind of firing at each other, and you can kind of see that being visualized in your battle mechanic. But at the same time, it's kind of like a seesaw. Like, you may like it, others may not, and that's the reason why it got so many negative reviews on release day. Now, if I actually look, so recent reviews, yep, have been mostly positive, but all reviews are mixed. So it's more of just like how you, and then you see like right here, you actually have characters. You can literally play as Andrew Jackson and make him a abolitionist, which was hilarious for me. And then you have these laws. You can go after like nationalism, communism, anarchism, and it's just a lot of detail whenever it comes to how you can change the history of the way the world kind of led up to World War I and maybe even World War II, because I think the stop date in this is like in the 50s. In 1950s. And at number 2 is going to be SuperPower. SuperPower 2 holds a very special place in my heart, as it does. It is the first game that got me into the specific geopolitical niche. This is the one where you have approval ratings, you have stability, corruption, you have all the like a handful of laws that you can change and kind of like make your country as you see fit. The biggest thing about SuperPower 2 is that a lot of people hold it to a very nostalgic standard, so it's really hard for you to make a sequel to something when it's nostalgic. Whenever you played this, maybe even grew up with it or something like that, like I did. And the biggest thing about it is that SuperPower 3 had a lot that it wanted to accomplish. However, because of technical difficulties, because of the COVID pandemic especially, and because of conflicts across the world, that did hamper the performance of SuperPower 3, and we essentially just got a very unfinished game whenever it first came out. And I've said it in previous videos, I should have been a little more clear with how I felt about SuperPower 3. I didn't know how much I could talk about, and I didn't want them to just kind of say, hey, you need to take this video down because you said this, 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 and this, and I don't want to be, I just didn't want to cause them an issue before release day. So SuperPower 3 is getting better. However, it is not where it needs to be. However, if you do want to make sure that they are going to be supporting this game, I'm pretty sure, and I've been hearing a lot of reports about this, and I've been seeing it too, maybe a couple of dozen players play SuperPower 3 every day, and I just still don't know what the future of SuperPower 3 holds. I'm gonna try to talk to one of the developers and try to see like what is going on and like essentially what might happen. But to see if they're still planning on supporting it, if they're losing money, if they're gaining money, or if they're just kind of recovering from it all still. But SuperPower 2 though, it is pretty good. I love the treaty system that they had in there, and I hope they port that over into SuperPower 3. I wish the economy was a little more detailed, but I did like the way it was and how quick it was for me to kind of go through and manage it before like I started a full-on multiplayer match. And especially nuclear war, we all know we loved launching and watching all of those nukes just cross the Arctic Ocean or Pacific Ocean and nuking each other whenever multiplayer games came to an end. But this is more of a nostalgic choice for me on number 3, but a practical choice for number 2 is going to be World Warfare and Economics. This is a game I already have access to, in which it is a very detailed game. World Warfare and Economics, and I'm going to be making a video about it very soon, and I'm going to be previewing it on my channel exclusively next month, so do not miss that whenever I do make it. World Warfare and Economic is essentially geopolitical simulator combined with democracy. If you guys want to see some exclusive screenshots, we do have a geopolitical simulator Discord server, and we also have a World Warfare and Economic Discord server. Me and another friend of mine, AMN, do have access to this game. I have been playing it several times, and I have full access to this game. No restrictions whatsoever. I can talk about it all I want with you guys, and I need to make a dedicated video to it. So if you guys would like to see this WWE video, please go ahead and tell me down in the comments below. I'm going to be working with the developer Lotus very soon to get a video out. But essentially, think of geopolitical simulator combined with democracy, and that's what you get with this. The map needs work. The map is not that beautiful. It's very low quality whenever you zoom in on it, but there's a lot of political simulation that's going to be coming out, and I'm going to tell you guys this right now. If what we have right now, what me and AMN have right now in WWE, if this is what we have, imagine what will be by the time this game comes out. And I know I made a lot of promises when SuperPower 3 came out, and I'm going to make sure that that does not happen again. If by the time the game starts to come out, by like March or April, I start to have these like concerns or anything like that, I will communicate that with you guys. I will say you guys might not be excited for this. This might not be what I promised a couple of months ago. This is very early. So I'm telling you guys right now, I want to be very clear about how I talk about this game. This game looks amazing. It needs work. There's a lot of work to be done. I will be previewing it next month exclusively. And I will tell you guys again right now, I am getting paid for it. However, that will not stop me from talking truthfully about this game. I do not want to repeat what I did with SuperPower 3, and I am doing my best to make sure that that does not happen again. So then in like in-depth resource management, you have more than 30 different resources to produce and trade with every country. That's not counting the economic sectors that you have in the game. Every economic sector is essentially broken into, I think it's like, it looks like maybe around 8 or 10 different things. So it's like security, environment, agriculture, energy, whatever. And so things like oil, for example, oil, coal, some finite resources. There's actually an end date in which you will run out of that resource, and you will actually have to try to switch away from it or something like that. So try to maybe get your economy off of it. You will be able to play hundreds and hundreds of years in this game. So it says right here, support more than 500 years of in-game playtime. So you can literally play hundreds of years in WWE. And one of the DLCs that he's actually planning, I don't know if it's a DLC or actually a in-game like main game feature, essentially what's going to happen is that you can be playing multiplayer, or you can be playing by yourself, and you can send a probe out to an alien solar system, and then they will come back, and if you piss them off to the point to where they're going to do this, you can piss off those aliens enough to where they will come to Earth and they will invade Earth. And then so the players of the world, the countries of the world, all have to unite to stop this alien threat. So essentially now, at that point, combine GPS4, democracy, and Terra Invicta into the mix. And this is WWE. This is World Warfare and Economic. There is a lot of promise with this game. There's a lot of promise, and I am very excited to preview it on this channel exclusively. There's a lot of detail whenever it comes to the military. There's a lot of detail whenever it comes to the economy. And again, if what we have right now that I've been playing on World Warfare and Economics, if that is what we have in December of 2022. I cannot wait for April, because that's whenever the game comes out, and I will be again making exclusive videos and previewing it live on this channel in January, so do not miss it. Subscribe to the channel. We're about to hit 7,000 subscribers. We're about 30 away from hitting 7,000. We are in competition with a French channel, Francie, before we get to number 1. So I just want to make sure that you guys know I'm doing a $100 giveaway at 10,000 subscribers. Let's hit 10,000 subscribers, but I would like to hit 8, maybe 9,000 subscribers, but we are about 1,000 away now from 8,000. So I'm excited that we are hitting these 1,000 subscriber marks very quickly now. It used to take me a couple of years to get 1,000 subscribers, and I've been hitting these 1,000 markers like more and more frequently over the past couple of years. So I'm very excited that I am the channel that I am now. I never expected to be this big, but I'm very excited that you guys like my content and want to see more of my content. And since with that out of the way, we will go to number 1, and this is a no-brainer: Power and Revolution Geopolitical Simulator 4. I've been playing this game on my channel for many years, and I've never been paid by Eversim, by the way. That's the biggest difference between WWE and Eversim. I have not been paid by Eversim as of yet. But the biggest thing that makes me want to put Power and Revolution at number 1 is because of the detail. You can have so many domestic policies that you can go after. You can manage with Congress. There's a lot of politicking that you have to do in this game. There's a lot of management with elections. You have to deal with energy. You have to deal with employment. You have to deal with your crime rate. You have to deal with your healthcare. You have to deal with literally hundreds of different metrics that can actually have an adverse effect on your gameplay. And this game's learning curve is to the point where I have to make tutorials for you guys. I have to make these economic tutorials. I have an energy tutorial that I'm working on right now, and I'm working with CrabRangoon on that. And a lot of you guys are already thinking, well, it's buggy, why was it number 1, whatever. Yes, this game is buggy. One of the biggest things that I usually find whenever you can watch my channel and I will play this game for hours, and most of the bugs that I ever come across are visual bugs. Like the pie chart looks weird, it has lines in it or something like that. Or maybe I get like a bug where like the character doesn't know who it's talking to, and it just shows all these characters in place of a name. As of recently, and it took them until 2022 to do this, the biggest thing about what I've been really liking about Eversim is that there are so many different types of updates that are coming out. So we have the release of the 2022 edition in April of 2022. Yeah, somewhere around April. And let's look. 1 update, 2 updates, 3 updates, 4 updates in 2022. If I go back to the 2021 edition, 2021 edition is available now, August 4th. They released 1 update for it in September 2021, and then came out again with the 2022 edition in April, which I'm pretty sure that's why, because they wanted to get back into their early part of the year schedule. Because what they had been doing is, because of the COVID pandemic, they actually got their entire kind of like a rhythm thrown around because of the pandemic, and then they had to stop making the game, I think, and then they started making it again, and it delayed. So like the 2020 edition didn't come out until like September of 2020, and then the 2021 edition came out in August 2020, and then 2022 came out in April 2020. So we're finally back into that part where like every one of these editions would literally come out like earlier in the year. So like February 2018, the 2018 edition came out 2019, March of 2019, and then in 2017, January 20th was January 20th, 2017, when the day that Donald Trump was inaugurated. That came out. And again, with the way Eversim has been acting, the way Eversim has kind of been updating their game, the fact that we even got 4 updates this edition so far is amazing, and I would like to give them kudos on that. But they still have a lot of work to do. We've had this game for like 6 years now. It came out in 2016, April of 2016, and the biggest thing that we would like is honestly just maybe we can go a year without it if we need to. That's what happened with Masters of the World, Power and Revolution. They kind of updated it in 2014, and then from 2014 to 2016 they didn't update Masters of the World because they were working on Power and Revolution. So if they can make a new Geopolitical Simulator 5, and they've already confirmed that they're going to do this, that they said 2023 is on the table, it's coming out. Geopolitical Simulator 5 is being talked about, however we have no information on it yet. So GPS 5 is going to happen. When they do GPS 5, they have to upgrade the engine. I will not play that game if they do not upgrade the engine. If they give us a very beautiful map to look at, I will play it forever. But if they do not do that, I cannot support that game at that point. I will literally say, you guys need to update this because everyone is going to be pissed. You guys have been using the same map outlook since 2013. It is time for a new one. You can't do that for 10 years and then try to say, okay, we're making a new game, and then it's going to look the exact freaking same. So that's my thoughts on my top 10 list. Now this is going to be separate, but I was kind of thinking about it. I was like, okay, should I make a top 10 or should I make an upcoming list? So I'm gonna go ahead and say I'm doing this as a top 10, and then I will make a separate video in which it's going to be the upcoming games of 2023. It is going to be, and WWE is going to be on there, so you guys are going to see me cover WWE again. But I'm going to be covering things like Lawgivers, the political arena, etc. So I'm going to see how many games I can get on that list, and then I will talk about them in detail. I will try to get developers to kind of give their thoughts on it, when their game is going to come out, and everything like that. So at least I will definitely have this out by the end of the year, or I'll probably try to I'll actually try to shoot for maybe January 1st, 2023. But I will be making a very separate video in which I will be talking about the upcoming games of 2023, because 2023 is going to be a big year for political game lovers, for people that enjoy political simulators, government simulators, etc. So guys, if you guys like this, a little bit longer than I was expecting this video to be, but I do hope you guys did enjoy this video and learned a lot from it. But guys, go ahead and leave a like, subscribe to the channel if you are new. If you guys want to see more content like this, hit that bell notification icon so you don't miss anything whenever I do make it to the channel. And I'll see you guys whenever I make this next video talking about the 2023 political games. But that's all I have for this today, and I'll see you guys in the next one. See ya.